Mark, are you there? Mark, where are you right now? Can you please answer me?
Oh, Marissa. Sorry, did you call earlier? Is something the matter? What's up?
Is something the matter? Is that all you have to say? It has been 2 hours since I called you. Where were you? Aren't you at home? Did you step out or something?
No, of course I am still at home. What are you talking about? What happened?
Well, even Miguel called you, didn't he? Why didn't you answer the phone? Where were you? What could you have possibly been doing?
What do you mean? Miguel should still be in class, shouldn't he? I didn't want to encourage him to text in class, so I didn't bother responding to him. Is that really so bad?
Did you not even hear the doorbell ring today? That was him! Why didn't you answer the door?
Oh, really? Did the doorbell ring? I guess I must not have noticed. I was so busy focusing on my work, I guess I must not have noticed or anything.
What are you even saying right now? I mean, didn't you check your texts? Didn't you even bother to read what our son sent you?
No, actually, I didn't. I saw that he texted me, but I was too busy working, so I didn't bother reading it. I put my phone away for a while so I could focus. It was only a couple hours later, when I looked at my phone again and saw that you had called, that I noticed something was up and decided to message you back. So, what's up?
That still doesn't answer my question. Why didn't you answer my call or read his texts? Look at them right now and see what you missed. Miguel came down with a fever and was trying to come home early to rest.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
He told me that he was standing outside the house ringing the doorbell over and over and over again, but you never came to answer it. And he tried to text you on his cell phone, but you never even bothered to look at what he was sending you. He even tried calling your phone, but you still wouldn't pick up. He finally texted me asking for help and telling me that he couldn't get into the house because you wouldn't answer the door. That's when I finally started to call you, but you still wouldn't get back to me until just now.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You need to slow your horses way down. First of all, what is with the lying? Do you think I am really so dumb as to fall for this? I mean, there isn't even anyone here. Honestly, did you really think you could get me that easily? What is your problem?
What are you talking about? Did you just not finally check outside the front door or something?
I did, yeah. There is no one even there. I have no idea what that whole story was about.
Of course there is no one there. Do you even realize how hot it is today? Do you really think that I would just let our son stand out in the hot sun with a fever for 2 hours while you took your time getting back to the messages your family was sending you?
Oh, please. Don't be so dramatic. There is no need to exaggerate, Marissa. I mean, he's a kid. What do you expect? They get sick all the time and then they get better. That is just what kids do. I bet he just went out to go play after getting bored waiting for so long. He's probably fine by now and just hanging out at the park or something. Honestly, you always have to turn every single thing into some huge issue when it's almost never really that bad.
Mark, this is not a game. I am not being dramatic right now. Do you want to know where your son actually is? He is at the hospital with a fever of 105 degrees.
Whoa, are you serious? Well, how did he get himself to the hospital?
Mark, our adolescent child did not get himself to the hospital. Our neighbor noticed that Miguel was sitting outside the house for a long time and not looking so well. She called me and told me that he felt really hot and that she would take him to the hospital. Someone else had to be there for him since you weren't.
Well, then I don't see what the big problem is. I mean, he got to where he needed to go, right? So what's the big deal? See, I told you that you always make a big deal out of everything.
He got where he needed to go? What are you even talking about right now, Mark? He needed to go inside the house where you should have been there to take care of him. Of course there's a problem here. Are you really that blind? If you were at home, then why didn't you let your kid into the house when he was ringing the doorbell and calling you?
I already told you that I just didn't notice anything. I was so busy focusing on my work that I have barely even looked up from my desk for the past 2 hours. I just didn't notice he was there is all.
Well, why did you have to keep the door closed with the sliding lock then? You know that Miguel has a key to the house, but with the sliding door lock in place, he wasn't able to get in.
What do you want from me, huh? Do you know how many people come by the house in a day? Neighbors and delivery people. Should I just let everyone into the house with a wide open door or something? Is that what you want me to do?
I am just saying that I don't get why you had to lock the door with the sliding lock as well. Couldn't you have just locked it normally and left it at that?
What are you even talking about? What if some burglar showed up and wanted to force his way into the house? Do you really think a professional criminal couldn't undo a simple lock? I work here all by myself. What else am I supposed to do to protect myself?
Are you really worried that someone is going to break into the house while you are there all alone?
Look, all I am trying to say is that we live in dangerous times now and you never know what could happen. Even in your own home. I just think it is important to be ready for anything, because you never know what life is going to throw at you.
And I am trying to say that you have to balance that with your day-to-day situation. I mean, look what happened today. Miguel was practically begging you to let him in, and he was left outside in the hot sun.
Well, it sounds to me like if anyone is the bad guy here, then it is the school.
And just what makes you say that it was the school that did something wrong, Mark?
I mean, honestly, sending a child with such a high fever home all by themselves? What were they thinking? If anything would have happened to him, it would have been all their fault.
Well, when they sent him home, his fever hadn't quite reached the point where it is now. And apparently, according to Miguel, the nurse even offered to take him home. But since our house is only a 5-minute walk from the school, he said he could go on his own. He said it would be fine since his dad would be at home and would let him in. Except you didn't. And now he's at the hospital being treated for a much worse fever than he had.
You really like trying to rub it in my face, don't you? But if our son wanted to try and be a big boy and go home all by himself, then that was his decision and therefore his own fault.
Mark, honestly, how could you say something like that about your own child? Are you really trying to blame your son for what happened after he tried getting into the house, texting you and calling you, and you never answered?
Well, then I guess it is no one's fault then. After all, it is not my fault if I was so engrossed in my work that I didn't notice the doorbell ringing. Nobody can be blamed for this.
I really can't believe what I am hearing from you. Are you really that focused on who should and shouldn't be blamed right now? I mean, if our neighbor hadn't noticed our poor son sitting there on the stoop of our house, well, who knows what could have happened? Do you really not think that your son's well-being is more important than who's at fault here?
Well, that is what I am trying to say. It is no one's fault. But it doesn't really matter now. There is no use going on about a situation that has already resolved itself.
What are you talking about, Mark? What has been resolved? Aren't you even curious?
Curious? About what? You've basically told me the whole story here, haven't you?
About what? About what? How about your son who is in the hospital with a 105-degree fever, Mark? Not once since I've told you where our poor little son is have you asked about how he is doing. I mean, are you even worried about him?
Well, of course I am worried about him. Don't be ridiculous.
Are you really? Because you haven't even asked once about him the whole time that we've been talking. You haven't asked about if he's feeling better or what his condition is. My God, you are his father. I would have expected a father to ask about how his son is doing before moving on to any other part of this conversation.
Well, I would have asked faster if you didn't message me the way you did, trying to accuse me of doing all sorts of things when it was nobody's fault in the first place. But anyways, it's fine, right? You would have told me if something really bad had happened. I just deduced that he was probably okay from that.
Are you sure that you really just don't care about it either way? I mean, ever since he was an infant, you were never interested at all in helping me raise Miguel. Sometimes I wonder, do you even really care about our son at all?
Excuse me. What did you just say? Are you being serious right now? Look, I am not I don't know what the past has at all to do with the now, but you always try and bring it up even when it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. You know, this is why I really hate women. They are always trying to play these mind games. They're always trying to talk about the past or using clever wordplay to try and trick you into saying something incriminating. It's emotionally manipulative. And you are one of the worst women I have ever met.
Excuse me? What the hell are you even saying right now? This better be your idea of a sick joke or something. You really haven't changed at all from when I met you, have you? And you still haven't answered my question. Do you even care about our son?
Enough with all these stupid little mind games. I'm not going to play along with it anymore. Look, the bottom line is that you are the woman, so taking care of the kids is your job. If you didn't notice that our son was feeling sick this morning, then that is you being a failure as a mother and not doing your job. You're just trying to pin your mistakes on me.
Wow! I really can't believe what I am hearing right now. This is incredible. You can't be serious.
I don't have time for any more of this stupid little song and dance, okay? I have got to get back to my work. Don't call or message me again unless you have something actually important to say. Do you understand me?
Something important? Listen here, you jerk. I was messaging to ask you where you were because your absence put our son in the hospital. Do you not see that?
I thought I told you that this conversation is over. Get back to me when you have something actually important to say. I'm busy and I shouldn't have to take this kind of nonsense from my own wife. Your job is to stand there, keep quiet, raise the kids, and stay out of my way. Okay, Marissa. I am getting really frickin' sick of your attitude right now. Are you really planning on staying mad at me forever for what happened last week? Is that really where we're at? Every day you're just giving me the stink eye, and when you're not doing that, you just ignore me. Do you really not see how this could be affecting my mood? I'm your husband. You shouldn't be treating me this way.
Oh, I am sorry if you think my attitude hasn't been the greatest, Mark. But unfortunately for you, I plan on keeping it up every day until you realize what you did wrong.
Whatever. But don't you think you're taking it a little too far? I mean, what's with these meals you've been making lately? You've been serving me microwave dinners for a week straight. Are you a wife or a glorified convenience store worker? Treating me like this is one thing, but you have responsibilities as the woman of the house.
Do I? Because I really don't feel like cooking much for you these days, Mark.
I don't even see what you are still so upset about. I mean, Miguel's fever went down, didn't it? Everything worked out okay in the end, so there is no need to carry on like this.
Did you really think that I would only be upset with you for as long as his fever lasted? I mean, do you even realize how hurtful the things you said were? Or how irresponsibly you acted?
All I am saying is that I think you're taking it too far. Like you always do.
Look, Mark, you are an adult and you spend all day at home. I think the least you should be able to do is cook a few meals for yourself now and then.
Oh, so now you are trying to put down my job just because I do it from home, huh? Do you think I just sit around the house all day not doing any actual work or something? You really just love putting me down, don't you?
Oh, please, Mark. Every day when I get home, you are on the couch playing video games. I think that if you have the time to do that, the least you could do is help me out with doing some of the housework. Or taking care of Miguel while I do it at least.
What, so I'm not allowed to have any time to myself? I can't take a short break now and then just to play some video games and let off some steam. I am working all day while I'm at home. I'd hope you understand that sometimes I just need a little break in the evenings.
No, Mark. I think it is fine to want some recreation and time to relax. But why don't you do that while playing with your son? He is always telling me how whenever he tries to go and talk or play with you that you barely even acknowledge him.
The reason for that is because he is always coming and trying to talk to me while I am working. It is not my fault if he can't tell when I am busy and when I am free. You're his mom. Why don't you do something to entertain him?
I have seen him go up and try to engage with you while you are just scrolling away on your phone.
Oh, so I can't even have a chance to catch my breath and look at my phone for a little bit. Besides, even when I'm on my phone, I'm very much in work mode. It's not something I can just snap out of.
Oh, please. I have seen the way that you snap at Miguel when he even tries to speak to you a little. You just tell him to stop bothering you and to go away. I mean, do you even feel a smidgen of the responsibility of fatherhood?
You know what, Marissa? No, I don't actually.
What did you just say? What do you mean by that? You can't be serious.
The truth is that I never wanted to have kids. But you just kept insisting and insisting, and finally you forced me into being a dad when I never wanted it for myself. You were the only one that wanted him in the first place, so you should be the only one who has to deal with him. I think that is only fair, don't you?
Wow. That is... Okay, look. I understand that I was the one who was pushing for having a kid at the start. But we talked it over and you finally came around to the idea. Besides, no matter what, at the end of the day, he is still your son.
I always thought there was something up with that, to be honest.
Excuse me? And just what the heck is that supposed to mean, huh?
All I am saying is that I don't think the kid looks like me at all. If he were really my kid, I think he would be a lot more handsome by now.
Mark, honestly, what are you even talking about? Literally every single place we go together, people are always saying how much you two look alike.
Well, random strangers on the street don't know what they are talking about. They always say that about a dad and the kid he is with anyways. But I don't think that kid resembles me in the slightest.
Well, I'll concede this to you. Personality-wise, you two are worlds apart. That much is true. Our little Miguel is so sweet and caring.
Which I take it to mean that you're saying that I'm not sweet and caring. Is that what you're getting at?
You were sweet. Once. Before we got married.
Well, if anything has changed since then, it is your fault for not doing a better job of your duties as my wife. That isn't my fault.
Before we got married, I told you that I wanted to keep working and we promised each other to split the housework. Do you remember when we did that? But lately, you haven't been keeping your end of that promise at all.
Well, think about it. Housework and chores are work for women, after all. But I saw through what you were trying to do right away. You just thought that you could trick me into doing part of your work for you. Did you really think that I wouldn't notice? I never once planned on keeping such a backhanded promise.
Mark, I am not some stay-at-home housewife, okay? And even if I did quit my job and stayed home all day to take care of the house, I would still expect my husband to pitch in and help out when he had the time to.
I know your tricks. This is just such a classic woman way of trying to get out of doing her job. First, I help you now and then, and before I know it, you're on the couch while I'm on my feet all day doing your job. But I'm not going to let you get off so easily anymore. I won't let you pass off your work to me any longer. Do you understand me? I have my own plans.
Plans? What are you even talking about?
I mean about how I am going to kick you out of this house.
What could you even possibly mean by that?
I mean that any way you think about it, a man like me is kind of wasted on a woman like you. I have just been thinking that I could do a lot better.
And just what the heck is that supposed to mean?
It means, Marissa, that if you don't start doing what I tell you to, then this marriage won't be lasting much longer. I can guarantee you that.
Are you seriously trying to threaten me with a divorce right now? Is that really what you were doing?
That's right. That is exactly what's going on here. I mean, it really just makes sense if you think about it for a second. After all, I am a serious and earnest person. You know that I wouldn't joke about something like this.
Right, I see.
That's right. So if you don't want to lose me as a husband, you better shape up and start doing what I tell you, when I tell you.
Okay, say no more. I get it.
Honestly, though, I really can't believe things have gotten so bad that you have made me say something like this to you. I have been holding it in for so long, but I have to say that it does feel nice to finally get it out in the open. I mean, For a long time, I have just felt like I married the wrong person and was stuck in this dead-end marriage. But as long as you understand where I am coming from, maybe you can manage to turn this around before it is too late.
Okay, Mark. Enough. You don't need to say things like that to me.
What are you talking about? I am just getting started. I feel like I haven't said nearly enough to you. Do you understand me? From now on, what I say goes. From now on, my opinion is always the correct one. And if you ever try and go against what I say, then I swear that I will divorce you right there on the spot, Marissa.
Hey, Mark. Where are you right now? What are you doing? Mark, are you there? I really need to talk to you.
What? What is it? I thought I told you not to disturb me while I am working.
It's just that I think you closed the sliding lock on the door again.
And? What does it matter to you? Did Miguel come down with another fever or something?
No, it isn't about Miguel.
Well, then what could possibly be so important that you need to interrupt me while I'm working?
It's just that I've noticed that you've been leaving that sliding lock closed all the time while you're at home, and I was wondering what you were up to.
What do you mean what I am up to? I'm at home working. What else could I possibly be doing? I thought I told you never to disturb me at work unless it was a real emergency. If you're just going to ask nonsense questions, then I am going to put my phone down and ignore you for the rest of the day.
Mark, I just want to know one thing. Are you home all by yourself right now?
More stupid questions? Of course I'm home alone. Why would you even ask something like that? What are you getting at?
Are you really? So you've been holed up inside the bedroom since the afternoon then?
No, of course not. What are you even talking about? I've been working in my office all day like I always do.
Really, Mark? Are you really sure about that?
This was already stupid, but now this is just ridiculous. Yes, of course I am in my office doing work like I always do every day. Are you stupid or something? What is your problem today?
Okay, Mark. If that's really your final answer, then I guess I just have one question. Why could I hear your voice and some woman's coming from the bedroom around noon then?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you mad?
Mark, it's a simple question. Why could I hear two voices, one yours and the other a woman's, coming from the bedroom?
What kind of game are you trying to play right now, huh? If you have something you want to say, then just spit it out and say it. Besides, if you are hearing noises from the bedroom, then that means that you're home right now, aren't you? So if anyone should be asking anybody questions, it should be me to you. Shouldn't you be at work right now?
Nope. I took the day off and have been home all day, actually.
What are you talking about? Of course you haven't. I would have noticed you. Do you really think I am so stupid that you could fool me with such an idiotic lie? Honestly, do you think I'm a moron or something?
I'm not lying, Mark. I'm in the house right now.
You've really lost it. You know that? I'm not the idiot. You are. There is no way you could be in the house. I locked the door from the inside. It would have been impossible to get in.
Mark, read closer. I just told you that I never even left the house. I was always here. I took the day off work to stay home.
What are you talking about? What is this?
You never bother to see me off when I leave for work in the morning, so I'm not surprised you never noticed that I stayed home today.
Don't try and trick me with your lies. I heard you shout that you were leaving from the front door and heard the sound of the door opening and closing. I heard it all from our room.
Well, you got me there. I only pretended like I was leaving and then went to go hide somewhere in the house.
But why? Why would you do something like that?
Well, I just wanted to see what you really got up to all day when you say that you only do your work here.
What are you even talking about right now? Of course I only do my work while I'm home. What else would I be doing? And are you serious about being inside the house right now?
That's right. I'm inside the house right now. In fact, I'm actually standing outside the bedroom as we speak. Just what are you doing in there? And with who?
Well, I am just having a business meeting right now. Yes, a business meeting with a very important client.
Really? An important business meeting with a client? In the bedroom?
Of course. I get some of my best work done when I am working from the bedroom. You wouldn't get it. You've never had to work from home.
Oh, really? I see. So then, what kind of business meeting is it exactly?
Well, it's a business meeting about work things, of course.
Of course it is. And what kind of work things exactly?
What does it matter to you? It is just a business meeting that I have to do for my work. That should be answer enough. Even if I come outside, sat you down, and explained to you what it was, you still wouldn't understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, really? But couldn't you have just done a call like this remotely? Why did it have to be in person?
Well, because if we did it remotely, then a bad connection might make it difficult to discuss things smoothly, of course. It is just easier to talk in person.
Are you sure? I don't think we've ever once had any connection issues since we started living here. Besides, at my work we do online business meetings all the time and never really have any issues with it.
Well, I don't work at the same place that you do now, do I? So don't pretend like you know what's going on with my job.
Yes, I suppose you're right about that. But that reminds me. I should tell you that for that past month, I have been watching you very, very carefully.
Watching me? What the heck is that supposed to mean?
I mean that. This isn't the first time that I've taken a day off of work to stay at home and look into how you pass your time when you're all alone here. Mark. But I am just blown away by how gutsy you are. I mean, inviting the woman you are cheating on me with into our home. Did you really think that you could keep that up forever without being caught?
Cheating on you? What are you talking about? There is no cheating going on here. Just an important business meeting with a very important client. That's all.
Mark, honestly, are you really going to make me go through this whole charade of you feigning ignorance? Do you really think you can talk your way out of this from behind the bedroom door? But okay, I can show you that I am not just making all of this up. For example, I know that the woman you're with right now comes over every Wednesday. I've even gone so far as to record every conversation you two have had behind closed doors, the times that I've taken off work to spy on you.
You were recording us?
That's right. I was recording you. And I even gathered enough information to narrow down who the woman you are cheating on me with is.
What do you mean you figured out who she is? What are you talking about?
When you were recruiting new employees for your company, that was the woman you hired, wasn't it? She shot up straight to the top of the list above all other candidates. But I think that you did that on purpose, didn't you?
What are you talking about? I have no idea what any of this means. You're crazy.
Okay then. Why don't you prove me wrong and step out of the bedroom right now then?
But are you really just standing outside the door right now?
That's right. And it's not just me who's here either.
You brought someone with you? Who is it? Did you bring Miguel?
Please, don't be ridiculous. I wasn't about to bring our child and traumatize him by letting him see the hussy you've been sleeping around with. He is at my mom's house, away from all of this.
So then, what are you trying to trick me into doing right now?
No trick. Just come out and we can all sit down and have a chat together.
We all? Who did you bring? Tell me. Who else is in the house right now?
Oh, just my dad and your parents. The people I really thought should know about all of this.
You What? No, you can't be serious. I mean, come on. This is just between us, right? This should just stay between the couples. It was nothing to do with any of our parents. You can't just tell them all about our personal lives.
Excuse me? What did you just say? Our personal lives? You crossed that line long ago and you started letting this other woman into our home so you could cheat on me. You must have really thought you were slick to let her come in here and think that you would never be caught. And to carry all this out in our own bedroom. It makes me sick, Mark.
But it's just... I'm only in a business meeting. I swear to you.
Okay then. Why don't you come outside of the bedroom and explain to everyone what is really going on then? By the way, I thought to invite one more person that I forgot to mention up until now.
Another person? Who could you possibly be talking about now?
I am talking about your supervisor from work, Mark.
Wait. No. You brought him?
That's right. Although I suppose it would have been more accurate if I referred to him as the husband of the woman you're with right now.
No. I can't believe you brought him. This can't be happening.
That's right. And he told me that he also had some suspicions about what his wife was up to and did some investigating of his own. Honestly, Mark, how could you be so stupid? Did you really think this could go on forever without you two getting caught?
But it's just... We thought it would be safer to do it here than at a hotel.
Aha! So you admit it. You are cheating on me.
Wait, no. That's not what I meant.
Of course, I knew what was going on for a long, long time, but now you've gone and admitted it yourself. All right, enough fooling around. Just come out of the bedroom and face the music like an adult.
No, I won't.
Excuse me? What are you, a kid throwing a tantrum now?
Shut up. I would come out if it was only you out there. Just tell everyone else to go back home and we can talk.
Nobody is going home anytime soon. We caught you red-handed. Everyone is going to stay here until you come out and own up to what you've done.
Please, I am begging you. Just tell them all to go home. There is no way I can look any of them in the eye. Besides, this woman means nothing to me. We were just fooling around. I'll stop seeing her and never talk to her again. I promise.
Just fooling around, huh? You do know that I am showing everyone here the text that you're sending me, right? Your boss is here only getting angrier and angrier with every pathetic excuse you've been sending.
No, it's not like that.
But you just said it was! Make up your mind! Which is it, Mark?
No, you don't understand. This is all just one big mistake right now.
Please, Mark. Your parents are reading this too. They are furious. I also told them about how your affair ended up landing their grandson in the hospital because you wouldn't come to the door. Honestly, what is wrong with you? Abandoning your own child just so you could cheat on your wife and betray your family. You need serious help.
But like I said, it was nobody's fault. I couldn't hear the doorbell.
And why couldn't you hear the doorbell, Mark? What were you so busy doing that you couldn't hear it, huh? Enough, Mark. No more excuses. You open this door and come out right this instant. If you don't come out right this instant, so help me, I will kick this door down.
Okay. I'll come out. I promise. Just let me put on some clothes first.
You've been naked this whole time? You worthless excuse of a husband. I hope you know that this means divorce.
Please. I'm sorry.
In the end, the two cheaters finally emerged from the bedroom with their heads hung in shame. From the moment they stepped out, the woman's husband, my father, and Mark's parents all started hurling words of incredulity at the two of them. Almost instantly, they burst into tears and fell to the floor begging for forgiveness. Mark's boss grabbed his wife by the wrist and dragged her out of the house. After that, I heard the two of them divorced and she was kicked out of the house. It goes without saying that Mark and I got a divorce as well. Me and Mark's boss both squeezed the cheating couple for every penny of alimony that we could get from them. Even the house, which Mark's father paid for, had to be sold so that Mark could afford to pay all the fees he ended up with. Mark's father bought the house back and offered it to me and Miguel for all of our troubles. Mark was, of course, fired from his job and promptly disinherited by both his parents. Now, thanks to the alimony and child support that he has to pay, Mark lives in a tiny little apartment, scraping together what money he can from the multiple part-time jobs he has to work now. The other day, Mark actually messaged me begging to let him stop paying for child support. Of course, I refused right away. I ended up selling the house because of too many painful memories and moved in with my parents. Now, the four of us live together happily. They help take care of Miguel and support me in my work while I do my best to start a new life. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.